Greetings, friends, and welcome to Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. This is a new game, both to me and in general. It just released uh, a week ago, maybe? June 23rd. It just released not very long ago. So it should be interesting. It says Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane, is a visual novel inspired by the Ace Attorney series. You play as a defense attorney who practices law in a world of fantasy and wizards. You must defend clients accused of various crimes committed using magic and use the rules of magic to prove them innocent. However, the system is corrupt to its core and manipulated by the aristocracy. Will you acquit your innocent clients in light of that? Or will you fall before a corrupt judicial system? So this kind of sounds like it's going to be similar to Danganronpa in the sense of the class trials and stuff. So without further ado, let's hop in and check it out. Alright, so case 1, the cold-hearted aristocrat. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we got. The fields of battle are filled with suffering and despair. On them are a clash of souls, brought to conflict by the corrupt powers that rule over them. I was transporting a client in my carriage that evening. So this is Riz Rudolph speaking. He is a servant, age 34, no arcane art. We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard a disturbance. I was worried that something was amiss, so I walked into the building to see what the commotion was. There I saw the defendant. She was lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights, and she was stabbing the victim with her magical sword.
Objection!
Alright, so here's us, I think. Mr. Rudolph, you testified that you saw my client murdering the victim. So he is a defense attorney, age 20. And you supposedly saw her casting magic while doing so? Yes? I could never forget such a grisly sight. That moment was burned into my memory. I see. Well, it's funny you said that. How so? As he slams his hands down. Because your entire testimony was a complete lie. What?
Objection!
Oh, now we got the the prosecutor. She's even younger, man. She's 18, and she has evocation as her art. This is Arya Stillwind. Okay. Are you accusing the witness of perjury? Surely you know that such accusations can't be made lightly, Mr. Cuthbert. My accusation is far from baseless, Steelwind. Think about the state of the crime scene at the time of the murder. The witness couldn't have seen anything, much less a homicide. The jury is just like, he knows something. But on this battlefield, there are still a few people who carry the ideals of justice within their hearts. But you have to wonder sometimes, are these ideals truly just? Or are they simply lies fed to us by our elders? Alright, so, darn it. Flintheart, you fool! Why couldn't you have just listened to me? We don't know age, occupation, or art. Rudolph, I require your assistance. Yes, sir? By the Scaled Lord, what did you... You killed him! Alert the town guard. Tell them you saw his daughter fleeing the scene. I'm sure their neighbors heard them arguing with each other. They'll immediately suspect her. At once, sir. Oh boy. So it's a frame job. Alright. So I guess that's what it means by the corrupted aristocracy. Alright. Earlier that day. Ugh. You feel yourself slowly succumbing to an unbearable pain. You don't think you'll be able to survive this much longer. Are you sure you're okay, Cuthbert? Okay, Ruby Tamura, she's an attorney who's 46. You look like you're about to pass out. Right, that's cool. Don't worry about me, Miss Tamura. I'm fine. You've been riding in this carriage for days. You're definitely not fine. With each bump in the road, you feel yourself becoming more and more nauseous. Oh, we're car sick. It's taking every ounce of willpower just to hold down your lunch. I'm perfectly fine. You say so. You feel the carriage drive over a large bump in the road. You can feel and hear your stomach retching in protest. The stew you ate for lunch doesn't taste nearly as good the second time. Ugh. On second thought. Sigh, that's better. You take a deep breath of fresh air. It's the first breath you've taken today that hasn't threatened to come back out. Sorry about this. I didn't expect the roads in this town to be this uneven. I suppose I don't get a lot of traffic here. I've been on the road with your mentor for days. Okay, so she's our mentor? Together, you've been searching for a man named Flintheart McCoy. Supposedly, he's been a voice of dissidence against King Oliver for the last Olivier for the last few decades. You have no idea what kind of business Miss Tamura would have with him, but you know better than to ask questions about her affairs. Hello, travelers. Welcome to Cornhaven. A local merchant steps out from one of the nearby shops. He has a wide smile on his face. That is not a smile. I disagree. And he approaches your carriage with the enthusiasm of a starving vulture. Boy, would a pair of dignified individuals such as yourself care for a refreshing drink? Those clothes, they must be from the city. He certainly has a friendly expression, but his thoughts seem very analytical. Well, I don't need a drink, but Miss Tamura glances at you and your stomach rumbles in agreement. Of course, I have just the thing for an upset stomach. His thoughts and emotions are laid bare through your eye of Horus. Okay, maybe that's like an artifact we have. But the merchant's expression doesn't betray a hint of what he's truly thinking. You wonder if his false smile could get any bigger. At this rate, he might dislocate his jaw. How about 2 flasks of apple juice for 50 silver pieces? 50 silver pieces? You may find the price daunting, but this is organic, freshly made apple juice. It's just store-bought juice, but I bet they can't even tell the difference. This must be his private thoughts. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot an empty bottle of store-bought apple juice. It's resting on a table inside the merchant's shop. Store-bought apple juice added to your nose. Okay, the Cornhaven merchant has a bottle of store-bought apple juice. Alright, it's suspiciously empty. Alright, Tyrion will make mental notes of notable clues he sees in the world. These notes are instrumental to solving mysteries and progressing through the game. You can check these notes at any time by opening the toolbar in the top left of the screen. I think that was the 3 lines earlier. Right here. Trust me, it's worth the extra gold. Normally, the price wouldn't matter that much to you, but you don't appreciate being treated like an easy mark. I agree. Interesting. Alright, argument. This is like a practice trial. Arguments. You've started an argument with another character. During an argument, your opponent will make claims that you need to respond to. Responding correctly will lower your opponent's confidence. Responding incorrectly will lower your confidence. And once you run out of confidence, you will lose the argument. Okay. I think you need to elaborate. You said that this apple juice is organic, but where is it made? It's produced by the hardworking people of this town, of course. I only trade organic products. In a small town like ours, we only deal with locally sourced products. Alright, so presenting during arguments. For certain claims, you will need to present a piece of evidence to refute that claim. To proceed, present the piece of evidence that contradicts your opponent's claim. Okay, so we are going to present the store-bought apple juice. You say that, but I can see an empty bottle of store-bought juice inside your shop. Why would you have something like that if you only deal with organic products? Oh, how did that get there? Make no mistake. I only had that because I wanted to see how my products compare to that of the city. Let me tell you, that mass-produced slop doesn't even compare to my product. What an obvious lie. This juice is worth far more than what I'm offering. Honestly, I'm offering you a very good deal. Okay, interpreting during arguments. For certain claims, you will need to look at your opponent's thoughts and emotions. Choose the correct response depending on the information seen. So, logic, choose this option if your opponent's thought contradicts something in your notes. Intuition, choose this option if your opponent's thought contradicts their claim. Empathy, choose this option if your opponent's emotions contradict their claim. Okay, so... Alright. So the juice is worth far more than what I'm offering. I usually only sell this stuff for 5 silver pieces a flask. So his thoughts are contradicting. Use this against claims that contradict thoughts seen through the eye. Okay. Sure, it's obvious those flasks are only worth 5 silver pieces. Well, what? How did you... Well, it's clear you're a very shrewd man. Right. Alright, so we won the argument. That's kind of some interesting mechanics there. Okay. So thirsty. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot a child watching you from afar. Her eyes are fixed on the flasks of apple juice. How about 20 silver pieces for 3 flasks? Of course, sir. Okay, so we're giving him a little bonus after we showed him that we don't need to fall for his tricks and lies. The kingdom of Wyverngard, established around 2,000 years ago by the 7 High Archmages. It's currently ruled by King Olivier de Wyverngard and the mages of his nobility. The nobility will tell you that our marvelous kingdom is a land of prosperity and happiness. A land where its people share the wealth and succor provided by the kingdom's magic. Thank you. I haven't had anything like this in years. The child's passing thoughts tell you exactly how much succor the kingdom is sharing. I didn't know you had such an eye for rural economics. Well, I suppose I just have good intuition for this sort of thing. Or did you use another kind of eye? You avoid meeting her gaze. Don't get me wrong, your so-called Eye of Horus is an amazing gift. You should take every opportunity to hone it. But try to be more subtle next time. If I can see through you, others will be able to as well. Right. Anyways, I did some asking around while you were haggling. Supposedly, the McCoy Tavern should be north of here. Okay. If my tip is correct, this should be the place. Wait, this is the McCoy Tavern? With the state it's in, calling it a tavern is being pretty generous. You find it hard to believe that this has a secret meeting place for distance. But now that you think about it, maybe that's the entire point. The tavern has been shut down for years. Nowadays, McCoy just uses it to host his rallies. Well, I do wonder how they've been keeping themselves afloat. Hey you, the McCoy Tavern is closed. A gruff man approaches your carriage as you step out of it. He's eyeing you and Miss Tamora, a clear look of contempt on his face. I take it that you're Flintheart McCoy? I am. What of it? Okay, so we now know his name. He's unemployed, and he's 52 with no arcane arts. Alright, occupation unemployed. Sorry for not writing ahead of time, but I'm Ruby Tamora. I wanted to speak with you. Ruby Tamora? Wait, the Ruby Tamora? Any animosity he initially had immediately vanishes. He lets out a laugh. It's as if he were meeting an old friend. Why didn't you say so? Come on in. You didn't expect someone like him to know about Miss Tamora. But you suppose it makes sense. They both fight against the same enemy. Albeit in different ways. Sorry about the mess. We haven't exactly been... Well, anyways, what brings you here? I take it you didn't journey all this way to see my wrecked tavern. I'm here on behalf of a client. I have a proposition you might be interested in. Is there anywhere where we could talk more privately? Sure, the kitchen's empty. Wonderful. Tyrion, stay here while I speak with McCoy. What? Don't you need my help? There's no need for that. Right, there's no need for that. If she's trying to make a deal with Flintheart, you can easily read his thoughts to figure out what he wants. She glares at us. You desperately want to object, but she shoots you a stern look that causes you to freeze up. Yeah, that's pretty stern. That's the angry mother look. You slowly look away from her. Yes, mother. Alright. You spend quite an amount of time waiting in the dining area of the tavern. It's already been hours since Miss Tamora and Flintheart went to talk in the kitchen. You can hear faint murmurs from behind the closed door, and you've been resisting the urge to eavesdrop. But even from here, you can tell that their conversation is slowly becoming more frustrated. Looks like they're gonna be a while. Well, it's a good thing you always bring a chess set around. You bring out the small chessboard that you've carried around since you were a child. Chess can be played with one person, and you've always taken advantage of that. Alright. Checkmate. We just checkmated ourselves. You win against yourself, this time as black. I've played 10 games already, and I've won 7 out of 10 times as black. Hello? Statistically, white is more likely to win. Unbeknownst to you, you're thinking out loud. So why am I performing so much better when playing as black? Hello? You still don't notice her, and you're verbalizing your thoughts just as fast as you're thinking them. Am I becoming overconfident as white because it has a first move advantage? Or perhaps that very advantage is affecting my choices and making me play in a suboptimal manner. If a personal quirk is making me play illogically, I need to correct it. Hey! What? How long have you been standing there? It's about time you noticed me. I've been trying to talk to you for a while now. She is not amused. Oh, sorry. Do you know where my dad is? Your dad? Flintheart McCoy. I'm his daughter, Celeste. Occupation mercenary? Okay. Nice. Oh, Flintheart is speaking with my Oh, it is? Is it really his mom? I was just kidding. With my mentor right now. Aw, I wanted to show him something. Do you know when they'll be done? I don't know. They've been speaking in the kitchen for a while now. You hear Flintheart and Miss Tamora's voices getting louder and more frustrated, but Celeste doesn't seem to notice. Her eyes seem to be focused on your chessboard. This is chess, right? Are you playing against someone? Oh, I'm playing against myself, actually. Oh, that's... You feel a judgmental stare. Man, they are really good at getting those expressions down. Playing alone helps me develop new strategies. Plenty of professionals do it. Hey, I'm not the type to shame a man for playing with himself. Relax, I'm just joking. Anyways, if you're still waiting for your mentor, do you want to play a game? Oh, you know how to play? Sure, I've read about this before. She's read about it? Ugh, this table is so dusty. Celeste takes a seat on the other side of the table and leaves us for the dusty side. She tries to set up her side of the board, but fumbles with the pieces. She stares at one of them, confused. How do I arrange these things again? A part of you regrets accepting her challenge, but it would be impolite to back out now. Here, I'll arrange them for you. Thanks. Alright. Checkmate. You defeat her in 2 moves. She's without words. Wait, what? Already? How did you do that? You decide against telling her what the name of that mate was. Rematch me. I want a do-over. Okay, sure, why not? Not as if you have anything better to do. How many moves are we going to checkmate her in this time? Celeste's brow furrows as she tries to decide on her next move. She hasn't realized that the game is already finished. Here. She moves her knight into a position to attack your queen. It should have stopped your assault on her king, but... checkmate. A scholar's mate this time. What? Come on, how do you keep doing that? So she has transmutation as her arcane art. You look at the closed door to the kitchen. Linhart and Miss Tamara's discussion is becoming louder. It doesn't sound like they'll be done anytime soon. Again, I'll definitely beat you this time. So either 3rd time's the charm or 3 strikes you're out? For someone who had clearly never played before, she's quickly improving with each game. It's impressive. She's observing your strategies and adapting them to her playstyle. With the way she's playing now, she can even defeat a nationally ranked noble. Checkmate. 3 strikes, you're out. But even so, you've been playing this game for a lot longer than she has. How are you always one step ahead of me? It's like you're reading my mind. Doo-doo-doo. As if you'd even need to. Just one more game. I'll get you this time. Hello, Cuthbert. Miss Tamora emerges from the kitchen with Linhart. They both look mentally exhausted. Looks like negotiations didn't go well. Hi, Dad. Oh, hello, sweetie. Linhart looks irritated, but as soon as he sees Celeste, he quickly hides it behind a smile. You wonder what their discussion was about. What's this, some kind of game? Miss Tamora glances at the pieces on the board. Don't feel too bad about losing to him. He's nationally ranked. Oh, you're a professional. Is that why you're wearing a suit? No, chess is just a hobby. I'm actually a defense attorney. An attorney? Speaking of which, we should probably be on our way. Sorry for refusing you after you came all this way. I really respect what you're doing, but I don't want anything to do with your mage friends. Aw, she's sad. You wonder what he meant by that. Oh, she's sad because she has arcane powers. Was Miss Tamora trying to introduce him to one of our clients? Anyways, it is getting late. If you leave now, you won't get back to the city until morning. She's right. This region is littered with bandits and brigands. You wouldn't want to run into them this late. I guess you have a point. We have plenty of empty rooms that you can stay in until morning. That's the least I can do after you came all this way. Well, if it's not too much trouble, we might as well stay here until tomorrow. The tavern is shut down, but we still have some sheets and blankets. I'll go get the rooms ready. So she's just a year younger than we are. She's only 19. Alright, Celeste and Linhart leave the dining area to get your rooms ready. And you're left in the dining room with Miss Tamora. So I take it that negotiations didn't go well? No, I didn't expect him to be so stubborn. Honestly, I have no idea what that man has against mages. Well, there There is one way to find out. Why are you being so secretive? If your business with Glenhart is related to our clients, I can help. It wasn't important, and your presence was not necessary. That's such an obvious lie, but you can't read a single thought from her mind. She's had years of practice hiding her thoughts from the eye of Horus. Celeste enthusiastically came back downstairs. But she seems to have noticed the tension between you and Miss Gamora. Sorry to interrupt, but your rooms are ready now. Right. Thank you. An awkward silence hangs in the air as you and Miss Gamora head upstairs. You reach the upper hallway and see the 2 rooms that Celeste has prepared for you. Miss Gamora stops before entering her room. You were playing chess with Glenhart's daughter earlier. Was she any good? Not at first, but she got a lot better as we kept playing. I'm sorry for leaving you there so long. I didn't expect our discussion to last that long. No, it's fine. Despite everything, I enjoyed playing against her. I see. Well, I suppose you are at that age. No, it's not like that. It's just that outside of tournaments, I never really get to play against another player. And you only ever want to play shogi against me. Because shogi is clearly superior. It's complete anarchy is what it is. You just bring fallen pieces back to life like some kind of necromancer. It adds depth. Dropping adds a dimension of play that isn't present in chess. You sternly look at each other, your positions already made. After a few moments of silence, you both burst out laughing. I'm sorry if it looks like I don't trust you. I know you're just trying to help. But there are some things about my work that I just can't tell you about yet. But one day, I'll tell you everything. Right. I'm sorry for prying. I just want to show you I'm ready to be an attorney. You are. I know you are. The rare praise from your mentor catches you off guard. Anyways, get some rest. You should mentally prepare yourself for the journey tomorrow. Right. You completely forgot about the carriage ride back. You can already feel your stomach churning in protest. Oh boy. You lay in the bed that the McCoys prepared for you. And as you close your eyes, you slowly drift into a deep slumber. As this happens, you feel something invasive. Your mind drifts away, and you feel yourself being pulled elsewhere. Oh, what's this? You find yourself in a surreal and unsettling landscape. You're fairly certain that you're dreaming right now. But some instinct in the back of your mind tells you that something is fundamentally wrong about this. We got a strange person here? You see a woman in the far distance. She's staring directly at you. What presence? She's murmuring something, but you can't quite make it out. Is she trying to say something to you? Finally, found! I've found you, Heavensborn. Alright, you're jolted wide awake. You can't exactly remember what that woman said to you. But whatever her words were, they sent a piercing chill down your spine. Your breath is heavy, and your heart is beating at 100 miles per hour. Calm down, it was just a dream. At least that's what you try to tell yourself. But please, just let me explain. I don't want to hear it. You hear the voices of Celeste and Flintheart ring out from downstairs. It must be extremely late. What could they possibly be arguing about at this hour? I want you out of my house. Out! A dead silence lingers in the air before you hear someone rush out of the tavern. Whoever left slams the door behind them. What was that all about? None of your business. You only met those two today. It would probably be best not to get involved in their affairs. And as you tell yourself that, a brief image of Celeste's smile appears in your mind. Dang it. Of course we have to get involved. You slowly make your way out of your room. But the hallway is nearly pitch black. You can barely see a few inches ahead of you. You have to watch your step to avoid tripping. Hello, sir. You run into Flintheart, who was slowly walking up the stairs. Even this close, it's hard to see his expression in the darkness. Sorry, I just heard... Right, I forgot you two were... His words trail off. Is everything okay? So he's sad, and I'm not sure what this one is. Shocked? I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm just going to... You awkwardly shimmy past Flintheart and head down the stairs. He doesn't move out of your way. It's clear his mind is elsewhere. You arrive at the dining room, but you don't see Celeste anywhere. Honestly, though, it's hard to tell with how dark the room is. Celeste? Are you still here? You don't receive an answer. You remember hearing someone slam the front door earlier. Your eyes are drawn to the tavern entrance. Let's go find her. Celeste? No answer. Celeste, where are you? Ugh. The merchant you spoke with before steps out from his shop holding a lantern. He appears to be irritated by all the noise you've been making. Oh, you're that kid from before. Do you have any idea what time it is? This isn't the city. You can't just make a bunch of noise like this. Right. Sorry. I was just looking for Celeste. Who? Celeste McCoy. She's Flintheart's daughter. The merchant's expression becomes a little colder. Do you know them? What do you want with that? That mage? Okay. What? Those two probably woke up half the street with all their yelling. I don't need you keeping us up too. If I hear any more noise, I'm gonna call the town guard. Is he talking about Celeste being the mage? Before you can get a word in, the merchant walks back into his home in a huff. You look around, but you still don't see any sign of Celeste. You decide to continue searching. Alright. I can't believe I said those things to her. She'll never forgive me for this. I see your temper is as short as ever, Flintheart. You? Honestly, how do you live in this darkness? Look so... And then the light turns on. What are you doing here? And how dare you bring that witchcraft into my home? You've been busy lately. Your little rallies have gained quite a lot of support. Too much support for my family's liking. And what? You came all this way to convince me to stop? You have my word. If you stop spreading dissidence, no harm will come to you or your family. Ha! Your word is as good as the dirt you lick off King Olivier's boots. As if I'd ever trust the words of a murderer like you. Flintheart, please. As someone you once called a friend, I'm only going to ask you one time. Friend? I'll be dead in the ground before I ever call the likes of you a friend. Get out of my house. I don't have time for your nonsense. Uh-oh. Unfortunately, I don't think you'll have much time for anything. Uh-oh. Ah! Did he just die? Dang it. Flintheart, you fool. Why couldn't you have just listened to me? Oh, man. Rudolph, I require your assistance. Yes, sir. By the scaled lord, what did you... You killed him. Alright, so now this is where that scene comes in. Alert the town guard. Tell them you saw his daughter fleeing the scene. I'm sure their neighbors heard them arguing with each other. They'll immediately suspect her. At once, sir. Well, so we definitely know it wasn't Celeste for sure. You've been searching for Celeste for a while. How long have you been outside? 2 hours? 3? However long it's been, it's clearly taking a toll on you. Where is she? What am I going to do now? You hear a faint voice. Could it be? Oh! As you peer behind an old tree, you finally find her. She looks just as tired as you are. Probably even more so. Her eyes are puffy and red, but she's doing her best to hide it with a smile. I've been looking all over for you. Oh, sorry. I'm guessing we woke you up. Oh, she's still sad. Yeah. Is everything okay? It's nothing. It was just an argument. Alright. So sad and whatever this is. But from the way she reacted, this is clearly not common. You suppose that it's none of your business. You decide not to pry further. Have you been looking for me all this time? I have. Thank you. But I'm okay now. You should head back. What about you? I think I'm going to stay out a little longer. You know that you should mind your own business, but I'm sure whatever happened between you two, it's nothing you can't talk out. It doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes Miss Tamora and I get into fights too. But no matter what happens, we were always able to talk through it. I wish I knew what that emotion was. Sorry, I know it's none of my business, but I really appreciate it. Thank you. All three. You're right. Let's go back. She's happy that we're cheering her up. What? You arrive back at the McCoy Tavern, but it's now surrounded by several carriages and knights clad in plate armor. Is that the Inquisition? What? The Arcane Inquisition. They're an order of knights that investigate crimes committed using magic. As you say the word crimes, you and Celeste share a glance and come to the same realization. Both of you rush towards the tavern, but Celeste outpaces you by a large margin. What? No. She reaches the tavern before you, and before anyone can stop her, she takes a look inside the inn. Whatever she saw makes her cry out in anguish. She drops to the ground in tears. There she is. Celeste McCoy, by the authority of the Wyvern Crown, I'm placing you under arrest. Okay, so this is Orem White. He's a knight, age 64 with no arcane arts. How is he a knight of... Okay, whatever. Upon seeing Celeste, one of the knights steps forward and grabs her. Surprisingly, she's able to break free from his grip and tries to push further into the tavern. Noticing the commotion, 3 other knights rush to grab her and begin dragging her away. She kicks and screams against them, desperately trying to break free. Even between the 3 knights, it's taking all of their strength to subdue her. What are you doing to her? What is going on here? Tyrion! Miss Tamora approaches you. Breathe a small sigh of relief when you see that she's okay. Miss Tamora? Bah, I should have known that he was one of yours. Oh, now we don't know what he is. Oh, maybe this is a different guy? Just stay out of our way. Miss Tamora, what's going on? Why is the Inquisition here? I'm surprised myself, but from what I understand, Linhart McCoy has been murdered. Murdered? Uh-oh. Yes, let's save our progress. Alright. You follow the Inquisition back to the city where Celeste is being detained. According to Miss Gamora, Celeste was the prime suspect in Flintheart's murder, and due to the supposed nature of the crime, her case would be pushed to trial immediately. But many elements of the situation still don't make sense. The Inquisition only investigates crimes committed using magic, so why is Celeste their prime suspect? Could she be a mage? This is ridiculous. She has a right to speak to an attorney. Anyways, you find yourself met with another hurdle. A very frustrating one. Yeah, well, we can't let you see her until she's been processed. Her trial's in an hour. How has she not been processed yet? I don't know what to tell you, kid. I wish I could help. You don't need to use the eye to know that's a complete lie. So you're really planning on defending her? Do you know if she can even afford a lawyer? I just can't stand here and do nothing. You saw them, did you? There's no way she would murder her father like that. I know that look. I was saving this for a special occasion, but... we get an attorney's runestone. A magical runestone that allows you to take pictures of the crime scenes and write notes telepathically. Every attorney has one. It's almost like a badge for them. Okay, nice. This is an attorney's runestone. If you're going to defend her, you're going to need one. You begin to tear up. You've wanted one of these since you were a child. It's basically a badge of honor for attorneys. Don't cry, Cuthbert. Sorry. Anyways, keep one thing in mind. If you try to defend her, the Inquisition isn't going to fight you fairly. Our court system only exists to create the illusion of justice. They hate people like us, and they'll do everything in their power to sabotage you. Dang it, you knew they'd try to get in your way, but you didn't expect them to do it this blatantly. What's with all this noise? You're that knight from the tavern. That's Commander Orem White to you, kid. Now we officially know his name. I had a feeling Tamora would be sniffing around this case, but I didn't expect her to send a kid to do her dirty work. Commander, he says that he wants to talk to the mage. And she's got a right to an attorney, doesn't she? Well, she hasn't been processed. Commander White looks confused for a moment. What the crap are you trying to pull? Let him through, you idiot! Yes, sir. Right. The knight leads you through the halls of the dungeon, where something built in the capital looks extremely old and decrepit. So the prisoners are sad, angry, and depressed? You pick up the negative emotions of the prisoners nearby. It's a heavy and almost crushing feeling. You've always had to avoid crowded places because of how sensitive you are to people's thoughts. You've never felt this much concentrated despair before. Here she is. Oh, it's you. Yay, she's happy. Celeste is lying down on the cold floor of one of the dungeon cells. But she immediately gets up as soon as she sees you. What are you doing here? Miss Tamora told me what happened to your father. I'm so sorry. I just don't understand. I don't understand any of this. Why would someone do this? She's angry and sad. And why are they blaming me for it? I'm not sure about the details, but it's clear that there were elements of magic involved in what happened. Since they arrested you based on that evidence, I can only conclude one thing. Celeste, you're a mage, aren't you? Okay, so maybe this is annoyed, given her expression? There's no sense in hiding it anymore. Yes, I am. Do you have noble blood? Of course not. Why would you say that? Sorry, but the ability to use magic is hereditary. Most mages tend to have some kind of noble blood. I honestly don't like thinking about that. I'm the daughter of Jolene and Flintheart McCoy. That's all I need to know about myself. It would probably be best not to push the matter further. Anyways, you were probably arrested because you're a mage. What? A crime was committed using magic, and you were the only mage around at the time. Is that seriously the only reason? I only know how to cast one spell. The Arcane Inquisition doesn't care about the truth. They only care about closing their cases. Celeste, your case is being pushed to trial. You're going to be brought before a judge within the hour. What? No one told me anything. Dang it, they weren't even planning on telling her? If you'll have me, I'd like to be your defense counsel for the trial. Right, I forgot that you were an attorney. Would you really do that for me? After everything I've seen them do, I can't just stand by and do nothing. But they're a part of the kingdom. Do we even have a chance? It's hopeless. Celeste, man, king, or god, I won't let them do anything to you. What? Sorry, it's just something I have a habit of saying. No, don't apologize. I really appreciate you doing this. It's clear this entire situation is bittersweet for her. Yeah, when she's happy and sad at the same time. And because of the Inquisition's delays, you haven't had any time to investigate the crime scene. You were confident before, but you're beginning to doubt whether or not you can really do this. Everything is happening so fast. It feels unreal. No, you have to do this. This is the exact reason why you became a lawyer. No matter what happens, you'll acquit Celeste. Okay, so now what? Now we're at the courtroom. I'm in a real courtroom. Actually entering the courtroom took a lot of wind out of your sails. Never been here as an attorney before. You've only ever acted as Miss Tamora's assistant. This is the prosecutor. The woman at the prosecutor's bench is staring at you. Miss Tamora mentioned her before you went to see Celeste. What was her name again? I think it was Ari Silva. Yep. You can feel the coldness of her glare burrowing into you. Why is she staring you down? Is she trying to intimidate you? Because it's working. There's the judge's gavel. Court is now in session for the trial of Celeste McCoy. Man, he's old, 80. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Oh, the defense is also ready, Your Honor. He doesn't necessarily sound very ready. Regardless, let's begin the proceedings. Prosecutor Steelwind, please list the charges. The defendant is Celeste McCoy, a mercenary for hire and a registered mage. Wait, did she just say mercenary? Yeah, I had to take up a job after my family's tavern was shut down. Oh, right. That's not exactly the first occupation you'd choose. She's charged with second-degree murder and negligent misuse of the arcane arts. I see. So there was magic involved. Yes, the crime occurred within the McCoy Tavern, a local inn that shut down years ago. The locals reported hearing a loud commotion come from within the building. Hours later, a carriage driver that was nearby checked the disturbance. It was then that he found the victim, the defenseless sword still impaling his dead body. The Inquisition has provided an autopsy report and a record of the sword. Okay, so we got the autopsy report. Died after being stabbed from behind with a magical blade. Fatal wounds shows heavy traces of transmutation magic, which is what she has. Okay. And then Celeste's sword. The alleged murder weapon. It's an ornately designed sword, but it has no magical properties. Okay. What was the defendant's relationship with the victim? I see that they share the same last name. The defendant is the victim's daughter, but not by blood. She was adopted into the family when she was an infant. Her birth parents are currently unknown. I see. What an unfortunate turn of events. To begin, the prosecution would like to call Commander Orem White to the stand. It's this guy. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. Name's Orem White. I'm Commander of the Arcane Inquisition. Orem, could you please testify about the details of the Inquisition's investigation? Yeah. Alright, witness testimony. We got a call late at night. Someone discovered a dead body inside the McCoy Tavern. When we arrived on the scene, we found Flintheart McCoy dead on the floor. The defendant's sword was still inside of him. We have several witnesses who heard the victim and defendant in a loud argument before the body was discovered. Their argument must have turned ugly because the defendant killed the victim using her magic sword. Isn't that really incriminating? One of her possessions is the murder weapon. Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. You open your mouth to respond, but nothing comes out. You can't think of anything to say. Everything is blank. Mr. Cuthbert. Hey, what are you doing? This is the part where you say something, right? I'm sorry, I don't... Your anxiety is just getting worse and your breaths are becoming more and more desperate. Are you hyperventilating? What a disappointment. I was hoping to fight against the infamous Ruby Tamura today, but it's clear you can't even hold a candle to her. Your Honor, it's clear the defense has nothing to say against the prosecution's overwhelming evidence. Yep, this case is pretty open and shut. No, wait. This isn't what's supposed to happen. I'm sorry, Tyrion. I couldn't acquit Frey. She was found guilty. What? But that means... Are they going to execute her? No, not again. Are you seriously going to let that happen again? Tyrion! Celeste grabs your shoulders and shakes you out of your panic. You need to calm down. Her gaze is calm and focused despite the gravity of the situation, but she looks stern, not angry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to... Stop. Just listen to me. You know what to do, right? Just do it the same way you play chess. What? I don't know. You were just so calm and focused when we were playing before. No matter how close I got to beating you, you always knew how to stay calm and win. So just channel that feeling and look at the pieces. That doesn't make any sense, and yet... You take a moment to focus and let everything else disappear from the world. Every statement that he made, every word that came out of his mouth, each of those is a possible weakness that you can attack. Every bleak moment can be turned around. You just need to consider every angle. My apologies for the delay, Your Honor. The defense is ready to begin cross-examining the witness. Very well. There we go. Thank goodness that worked. Carefully examine every statement he made and find something that contradicts the evidence in your notes. Once you do that, present the contradicting evidence and prove that this testimony is false. Okay. So we have a cross-examination. Cross-examinations. You are cross-examining a witness. Carefully examine each statement they made and find the statement that contradicts a clue, a spell, or a profile in your notes. Once you identify the false statement, click the present button and present the contradicting evidence to move forward. Okay, so we got a call late at night. Someone discovered a dead body inside the McCoy Tavern. What is that? What do we have in our notes? So we have died after being stabbed from behind. It's an ornately designed sword, but it has no magical properties. Okay, so I think that might be where we go. She's a bodyguard. These are the people we know. Okay. Let's press him forward. At what time exactly did you get this call? And who discovered the body? The call came in at 1:25 a.m. As for the witness who discovered it, he wanted to remain incognito. It's not unusual for a witness to stay anonymous. It's well within their right. But this would be a lot easier if you could question the witness directly. What happened when you arrived, Commander? When we arrived on the scene, we found Flintheart McCoy dead on the floor. The defendant's sword was still inside of him. Okay. How did you know that the sword was my client's? Her sword is made out of some kind of special alloy. I think it was forged out of country or something. It'd be hard to mistake something like that. We also have several eyewitnesses who verified the sword belonged to the defendant. She made no effort to hide it from the public. Quite the contrary, she was quite proud to show it off. But even if the sword belongs to my client, that doesn't necessarily mean that she was the one who stabbed him. Yeah, well, we have several witnesses who heard the victim and defendant in a loud argument before the body was discovered. So far, I feel like all of this is true. How did they know it was my client and the victim that were arguing? You were there, weren't you? You had to have heard them too. Every witness we talked to knew it was them. Well... Your Honor, it's clear that the defense is playing devil's advocate. Even he should have recognized their voices. Well, they've got you there. Their argument must have turned ugly because the defendant killed the victim using her magic sword. So it wasn't magic.
Objection!
Commander White, you testified that the victim was killed using the defendant's magical sword. Am I correct? Yeah, it's pretty obvious when you look at the crime scene. I think I'd actually have to disagree with you on that. The defendant's sword couldn't have possibly been the murder weapon. What are you talking about, kid? The sword was inside his body. Of course that's what killed him. That may be the case, but take a look at the autopsy report. It states that the fatal wound had heavy traces of magic. So how would a non-magical sword leave traces of magic on the body? What? To leave a trace like that, the wound would have had to have been created with something magical. My client's sword may look fancy and expensive, but it's entirely mundane. That doesn't make a lick of sense. If the sword didn't kill him, then why was it in the body? Yes, I find that quite strange as well. Well, there's only one reasonable explanation, Your Honor. The wound was created magically. Someone shoved the sword into the wound afterward. What are you talking about? The defendant is a mage. She could have easily killed the victim using magic. That may be, Commander. But why would she kill the victim using magic and then stab him with her sword? She would just be incriminating herself. That doesn't make any sense. No, if anything, this series of events proves one thing. Someone used magic to kill the victim, and then they pushed my client's sword into the wound to frame her.
Objection!
Don't get ahead of yourself. What? Your Honor, the defense is trying to spin the facts in his favor. He claims that a third party committed the crime and used the sword to frame the defendant. But wouldn't the simpler explanation be this? Magic was being channeled through the sword at the time of death. That is what left the magical trace on the body. Commander, please tell the defense how the murder was committed using magic. What? Alright. I think I see where you're going with this. Alright, let's see what we got. It's true that the sword itself isn't magical, but magic can still be channeled through it. That defendant over there, her spell compendium has a spell called Mage Blade. She must have used it on her sword before stabbing the victim. That spell is the reason why there were traces of transmutation magic on the wound. So, her spell compendium contains a spell called Mage Blade. A spell compendium is a magical device that lists every spell a mage can cast. Luckily, Celeste's compendium only contains one spell. That means she can only cast the one spell. Celeste, you have your spell compendium with you? No, I left it at the tavern after... Well, you know. If you can't look at the description for Mage Blade, you'll have to approach this another way. The commander's testimony was a lot vaguer this time. If you can press his statements, you might be able to find new information that you can use against him. Okay. Let's see. During cross-examination, you can press statements to acquire more information. Sometimes pressing the right statement can make the witness add a statement to their testimony. Is it true that the sword, or it is true that the sword itself isn't magical, but magic can still be channeled through it? Are you saying that my client used a spell and channeled it through her sword? There are a vast number of spells that operate like that. Spells from the School of Transmutation are almost always channeled through an object. Okay, that defendant over there, her spell companion has a spell called Mage Blade. Mage Blade. It's a transmutation spell that sharpens my sword. I usually use it when I need to cut through an enemy's plate armor. You didn't realize that she led such a lethal lifestyle. But anyways, would it be excessive for the defendant to use a spell like that on the victim? He wasn't wearing any kind of armor at the time of death. The victim and the defendant were in an intense argument. Perhaps she used the spell in a fit of rage. It was a crime of passion, after all. Ugh, that theory is a little far-fetched. But you'll need hard evidence if you want to disprove it. Alright, she must have used it on her sword before stabbing the victim. But why would she go through the trouble of doing that? Her sword alone would have been enough to commit the murder. Mages are always looking for an excuse to throw their power around. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Isn't that just your own personal bias, Commander? We don't need to understand why the defendant did what she did. The fact of the matter is that magic was present at the crime. Do you have any evidence of the contrary? You don't. Yet. Alright, that spell is the reason why there were traces of transmutation magic on the wound. If she used a spell like that, wouldn't that have created traces of magic on the ground? How so? Well, let's say we follow the prosecution's theory. That would mean that the victim fell to the ground with the sword still inside him. At this point, Mage Blade would still be active, right? It would definitely leave a magical trace on the ground after making physical contact with it. We're already way ahead of you. We had our people scan the crime scene, and we found traces of transmutation magic right under the body, just like you said. Oh. If you still don't believe me, I have a picture of the crime scene right here. Oh? Why was this picture not brought to my attention? There was no need. This entire case is open and shut. Crime scene pictures. Alright, a picture of Flintheart McCoy after he was murdered. You've seen pictures of the dead before, but it feels different now that the body is of someone you know. It looks like there are traces of magic on the ground. Okay, if you say so. But this shape is a little weird, isn't it? What was that just now? Alright, so you can see it right in this photo. She killed him with a stab from the front. Oh, but that's not true. He was stabbed in the back, right? From behind with a magical blade.
Objection!
He was stabbed from behind. I'm sorry, Commander White, but it seems that you've presented another glaring contradiction. Oh yeah? And what's that? You said that my client stabbed the victim from the front. Am I correct? Yeah, you can see it plain in that picture. So where's your contradiction? That's the thing, Commander. Your picture clearly shows that the victim was stabbed from the front. But the autopsy report says that he died from a stab from behind. What?
Objection!
Aura, you are supposed to release everything that you have. Why wasn't this photo given to me? There was no need. There's no way it could have been anyone other than that mage. Murmurs ring out across the gallery. It didn't matter how corrupt the judgment system was. They wouldn't be able to cover up such a blatant incompetence. You have them right where you want them. Order! Order in the court! Mr. Cuthbert, what is the meaning of this? I'll tell you what the meaning behind this is, Your Honor. As the autopsy report states, the victim died from a stab wound originating from his back. But this photo clearly shows that the sword entered from his front. This can only mean one thing. The sword was inserted into the wound after the fatal wound had already been created. That's crazy. Do you honestly expect us to believe that? Then please enlighten me, Commander White. How else would the sword be facing the opposite way? Do you think my client stabbed the victim with the hilt of her sword? I didn't think so. What really happened is clear. The real murderer stuck the sword through the victim's wound to implicate my client. But they made a careless mistake and struck the sword through the opposite side.
Objection!
It appears that I underestimated you, Mr. Cuthbert, but you've still gotten ahead of yourself. How so? Really, Miss Steelwind? I believe that Mr. Cuthbert has adequately cast doubt on your case. Oh, did he now? Then let me ask you one question, Mr. Cuthbert. If your client didn't kill Flintheart McCoy, then who did? How should I know? If I'm not mistaken, it is the commander's job to figure that out. Oh, I'm well aware of the commander's incompetence, but one fact still stands. There was magic detected on the wound and the sword. Would you like for me to tell you how many mages live in that small town? You don't like where she's going with this. Just one. There's only one registered mage in that entire town, and that mage is your client. What? The defendant was also established to have been with the victim hours before his death. She was the last known person with him, and she was the only mage there. In addition to that, I have several witnesses who heard them arguing. But she was the last known person with him. How she murdered the victim is simply an unanswered question. I see. That certainly does change matters. I can't say that the prosecution's evidence is irrefutable, but there is still evidence to cast guilt upon the defendant. Dang it, you almost had them. There are far too many unanswered questions for me to pass a verdict. We will give law enforcement time to clear these unknowns. I suggest they conduct their investigation more thoroughly this time. We will resume the trial tomorrow morning. Court is adjourned. Boy. This is an interesting game. Hello, Cuthbert. As you walk out of the courtroom with Celeste, you are greeted by Miss Demora. Miss Demora, you're here? You recall how you froze up during the first cross-examination. We felt a little ashamed that your mentor saw all of that. Well, at the end of the day, you were able to pull it together. And once you did that, you performed adequately. On that note, I wanted to give you this. Oh, her spell compendium. Okay. So we can now see what Mage Blade does. Okay, so it's a transmutation school. Arcane is the incantation. No gesture. Lasts 1 minute. That might be important. And yes, she has to concentrate. So how's she going to argue if she's concentrating? Alright, for the duration of this spell, the edges of this object, usually a blade, become unnaturally sharp, making it more effective at slashing through tough material. While under the effects of this spell, the object emits a yellow radiant glow. That might be important. Yellow. The target object must be no larger than a 5-foot cube. Alright. My spell compendium? I swiped it from the dining area before the Inquisition arrived. I thought it'd be best for you to have it. So this is your spell compendium. And it only has one spell. Mage Blade. This means that the prosecution has to prove that Celeste used that specific spell. It will restrict how they approach this case, which gives you an edge over them. But that prosecutor is really something else. You mean Prosecutor Stillwind? You can still remember her ripping glare. Gives you chills just thinking about it. You wouldn't even know it, but this was also her first trial. Really? I thought that her inexperience would make for a good first opponent. That girl, she's a natural in the courtroom. It makes me wonder why a Steelwind would choose to become an attorney in the first place. What do you mean? Steelwinds are a powerful noble house. Of the noble families, they are one of the few who answer directly to the king. Most members of their house take high-ranking position in the kingdom's military. So it is a bit strange that she chose to become a prosecutor despite that. steel wind. I feel like I've heard it somewhere before. In any case, it's best for you to focus on the trial. You have about a day until court resumes. Right, now that I have time, I'd like to ask you some questions, Celeste. Namely, about that argument you had with your father. Oh. You see the bailiff staring daggers at Celeste. It looks like they're waiting to take her back to her cell. Whatever questions you have for her will have to wait. I should probably go. Celeste walks away while avoiding eye contact with you. Bringing up her argument with Flintheart may have struck a nerve. I'll also use this opportunity to investigate the crime scene. I wouldn't be surprised if the Inquisition missed something. You utterly embarrassed them today. Don't expect them to make the same mistake twice. Right, there's still a lot of things we don't know about. As much as I hate to admit it, your skills of deduction far surpass mine. If anyone can figure out what really happened that night, it's you. Alright, let's go ahead and save our progress. I don't know how many saves we get, but we'll just keep going like this. Alright, you arrive back at the McCoy Tavern. Luckily for you, the Inquisition set up a teleportation circle for you to use. With that circle, you can magically teleport between the capital and the crime scene instantaneously. It's definitely miles better than having to travel by carriage. Oh, it's you. What are you doing here? Commander White takes notice of you as you enter the tavern. It looks like he's working with a team of knights to investigate the crime scene. I'm the defense attorney in this case. I have just as much right to investigate this crime scene as you do. Oh, yeah, whatever. Just remember, I got my eye on you, kid. Alright, let's examine him. Oh, we're gonna examine this. Okay. There's a chalk outline of a person on the ground of the tavern. This is probably where Flintheart died. The outline matches the picture that the Inquisition took. Nothing seems out of place here. Okay, what about this? There's a broken bottle on the floor. It's shattered close to the chalk outline of the bottle. The label has the words Lotus Juice on it. I've never heard of that brand before. It must be foreign. So we got the shattered bottle. Alright. What do we got up there? There's a modern looking lamp mounted on the wall. It's a lamp powered by artificery. I didn't expect to find something this sophisticated in a town like this. Bah, artificery is just another form of magic. Actually, artificery draws from surrounding ley lines to... I didn't ask for a science lesson, kid. Anyways, look where the artificery got these folks. The arcane power cell broke and they haven't had any power for weeks. Yep, nothing can beat good old oil and flame. Okay, so the McCoy Inn is outfitted with several lamps powered by artificery. However, the arcane power cell has been broken for weeks and the lamps can't be turned on. Alright, and then we got down here. The Inquisition lit some candles, but there's a magical lamp right there. I wonder why they're not using those instead. Got a picture here. It's a painting of a mage, and there's some text on it. Somala Daglia, a legendary practitioner of the arcane arts, he mysteriously disappeared one day. It's rumored that he was developing a formula for a new transmutation spell. However, he was reckless in casting the spell, and Daglia quickly lost control of its magic. His body was never found. Many speculate that he didn't actually die during the accident, but if that's true, where did he end up? Sounds like a cautionary tale against using magic. That might explain why Flintheart kept it in his tavern. Yeah, because he wasn't a big fan of magic at all. Alright, what else can we examine? We did all this. Got this picture. This looks like the Uncle Sam pictures. There's a painting of a man in a suit. There's some text on it. Adam Evely, politician of the pedantic. I've heard of this guy. He's some kind of politician from one of the nations west of here. I heard he's pretty much a shoo-in to win whatever election they have going there. The election? Was Flintheart studying democracies for his little revolution? Maybe. Alright, do we have anything else to examine? Did we pretty much check out everything? I don't see any more stuff. Right? We got everything. Let's check all the nooks and crannies. I think we got everything though. Nothing new to be revealed there. Alright. Let's talk. I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about the case. Huh, as if I'd help the likes of you. I saw who your boss is, and I know what you're up to. The witch probably sent you here to con me. What? I'm just looking for some information. A likely story. He was cooperative before when he let you see Celeste. Why is he being so stubborn now? Is he angry that you embarrassed him in court today? In any case, you won't get anywhere at this rate. If you want his help, you'll need to persuade him through an argument. Okay, psychological profiles. It helps to prepare before starting an argument with someone. Talk to Orem or present items to him to build a psychological profile for him. If you successfully fill the profile gauge, you'll receive more information during any arguments against him. Okay, what evidence can we present? A broken bottle? I wonder what lotus juice is. It's definitely not any drink I've heard of. It must be some kind of imported brand. Okay, what about the broken power cell? This place has been without power for about a week. I wonder if there's any information I can infer from that. They've been using candles to keep the place lit. This is exactly why you can't rely on magic. Alright, so far that's not working. Alright, Mage Blade. What about this? What do you think about this? I don't know what you're expecting me to say. Not much to say about that. Okay, I'd be best to try something else. Alright. Well, let's see. Profiles. What kind of profiles can we present? So, I never expected a girl like that to be a mercenary. But I would have also never expected her to be a murderer either. She's not a murderer, and I'll prove it at the trial tomorrow. Yeah, whatever you say, kid. Okay, so far we're not making any progress. What is this? The crime scene picture? Okay, let's see what he says about that. What do you think about this? Oh, okay, so he's not going to say anything for that. What else could we present to him? Maybe he'll say something about Miss Tamora. I have to ask, did something happen between you and Miss Tamora? Ha, Miss Tamora. What are you, her lackey or something? No, actually, she's my guardian. I didn't know she even had a... Look, kid, I don't know what the deal is between you two, but no good will ever come from associating with her. This is about the rumors, isn't it? Throughout the years, there have been several insidious rumors surrounding Miss Tamora. She's been accused of forgery, blackmail, and all manner of illegal activities. It's clearly misinformation spread by the nobility to discredit her. She's always been fine with it, but you can't help but get angry on her behalf. It's more than just rumors. I've seen it for myself. That woman is evil, kid. She defends mages who don't have the protection of the nobility. She's not evil, she's a hero. Yeah, whatever. Okay, good. Alright, we got some... What about Flintheart? Oh, okay, so nothing to say about Flintheart. What does he think about the prosecutor? Because he seemed to not like her a whole lot. I heard that this was Prosecutor Steelwind's first trial. She must be pretty talented if that's true. A pain in my butt is what she is. That noble comes in here telling me how to do my job. I honestly have no idea what she's even doing in this line of work. She's a mage from a noble house. Or she's a mage from a noble house, isn't she? She must be a pretty powerful mage. Ha! Powerful is an understatement. Any one of the Steelwinds could turn this entire town into a glass crater. What? There's no way that's true, right? Alright, let's see. What if we present his own evidence? Okay. He doesn't want to say anything about himself. What about us? I never knew Tamora had a kid. Why have I never seen you before? I tend to stay inside a lot. As a child, you couldn't control the Eye of Horus that well. Hearing the myriad of thoughts from the large crowd tended to be overwhelming for you. I've only ever seen her as a ruthless lawyer. It's hard to imagine a woman like that taking care of a kid. Well, she was just as ruthless as a guardian. Alright, what else have we not? We've presented all of these. We presented that. Did we present the autopsy? I don't remember. I don't think we did these three, did we? The autopsy report seems to be pretty detailed in some aspects and vague in others. Why is that? I'm not sure about the details, but the autopsy is performed by a mage who studies divination. Their magic gives us details about how someone dies, but there's always a few blind spots. Blind spots? Like what? Well, for one thing, if someone mucks around with the body after death, the report becomes muddled. Divination magic can tell what happened to a body, but not in what order and at what times. But someone definitely stabbed Flintheart's body with Celeste's sword. If what he's saying is true, it will be that much harder to figure out what kind of weapon originally killed him. Okay, let's see. That mage's sword really is strange. It's almost a shame we had to confiscate it. Is it really that abnormal? It's definitely not like any kind of sword I've seen. I wonder if it was forged in the Eastern Kingdoms. Alright, crime scene picture. Did we do this one? Okay, I think we did. There was nothing to say about that. We did those. Did we do this one? I've never seen a real spell compendium before. I'm still not exactly sure how they work. Well, spell compendiums are magical devices that display exactly which spells a mage can cast. You can probably guess, but the Inquisition uses these things all the time. Right, having that information is definitely a blessing for the defense and the prosecution. Alright. Probably not going to say anything about this. Yeah, I didn't think so. So I think we have presented literally everything else. What is move? Is that going to take us back to the other thing? Oh, okay. Let's go upstairs and look. Alright, maybe there's something upstairs we can collect. If people keep seeing you here, they're going to start asking questions. Leave the investigation to me. All you have to do is stay quiet until the trial is over. While heading upstairs, you spot the prosecutor having a conversation with someone. They seem to be in some kind of argument. Enough. I will do as I see fit. You may be a Steelwind, but this is my land. Oh, sorry. Oh, you're that defense attorney from the trial. I am. I'm sorry, but who... how rude of me. My name is Lord Garrick Pierce, the ruling noble of this land. As the ruling noble, I suppose I should thank you for playing your role in the current trial. Transmutation. As misguided as it may be, I suppose that you also think my client is guilty. It does not matter what I think. This entire scandal has done nothing but rile up the common folk. Magic is a gift for the nobility, and the nobility alone. It is a symbol of the aristocracy and our divine right to rule. And now that bastard child has tainted that symbol in the public eye. All of this has nothing to do with her. She's just an innocent woman who got wrapped up in all this. Even if she is innocent, the charges have been laid and made public. Someone must take the fall lest the public accuse the system of corruption. So you're saying that she should be found guilty even if she's innocent? What do you suppose will happen if she's acquitted? All the public will see is a mage going free despite a myriad of evidence. That alone would be enough to cause public outrage. Tensions between the aristocracy and the common folk are high enough as is. What is one insignificant girl when compared to the stability of our great kingdom? That's That's enough. Stop antagonizing him, Pierce. Humph. I can't refute what he said, but I don't agree with it. What? The system should be based on truth and justice, not on public opinion. Why are you working against my client? Do you honestly think she's the kind of person that would kill her father? It doesn't matter what kind of person she appears to be. The evidence clearly points to her as the only possible killer. But you should fight according to your own ideals, just as I will fight for mine. It's hard to get a read on that woman. Alright, let's see what we can examine. Okay, so we got lights here. There are some candles lighting up the hallway. They look like they used to be part of the old architecture. And the doors, several doors lead to guest rooms. Aside from the rooms that you and Miss Demora use, they don't look like they've been open for quite some time. Alright. Is there anything else? And then we got this door. There's a door at the end of the hallway. It looks like it's seen some use recently. You try to open the door, but it seems to be locked. Perhaps someone might have a key to open it. Okay, so maybe we can find a key somewhere. Maybe Celeste has the key. Let's see. Where do we want to go? We want to go to the barracks, McCoy Tavern. I think we need more information still. You return to the dungeon to speak with Celeste, but when you check the cell that she was being kept in, you see that it's empty. The Inquisition must be questioning her. I should come back later. Okay, what can we examine? That it's empty. There's only one locked door that leads into the cell, and it seems to be locked by some kind of magical mechanism. Lit torches are hanging on the wall of the cell. It seems to be a bit irresponsible to put a potentially harmful item in here with the prisoners. But perhaps the Inquisition doesn't care about that. The cell has a barred window. Even if a prisoner somehow broke through the bars, there's a 3-story drop to freedom. Okay, so nothing here. Where else can we go? Is there anything in the courthouse? This isn't going to like... Oh, Cuthbert, you're back already. Sorry, I guess I'm just a little lost about where to go next. Well, I suppose I can give you some guidance. This time. Alright, sometimes it helps to speak with someone about the investigation. One character will almost always be able to assist you. You can speak with them about the investigation or ask them where to go next. Right now, Ruby Tamora is assisting you, but who knows? Maybe someone else might help you in the future. Okay, so let's talk to her. Let's talk about... You haven't really found out anything, have you? Sorry, I just thought I'd check in with you first. I can't always hold your hand, Cuthbert. You need to move to the crime scene and look for evidence that you can use. Alright, where should I go next, Miss Tamora? Well, you haven't really gone anywhere. You should really head to the crime scene. Right, of course. Alright, well, we did get some information, right? So, let's see. We found out about him. Oh, don't waste my time, Cuthbert. Does she want any information? Okay, I guess not. So let's just go ahead and move back to the McCoy Tavern. And let's see what we can get. Can we talk about this dude now? No, he doesn't want to talk about that. Okay. Can we talk now? Let's talk about the Inquisition. So, what does the Arcane Inquisition do exactly? You trying to pick a fight with me? No, I'm just genuinely curious. Well, I'm sure you already know, but us Inquisitors investigate crimes that involve magic. Crimes like this happen often? Nah, maybe once in a blue moon. Makes sense. Most mages are in the nobility after all. Even if they're untouchable, they don't make it a habit of getting in trouble with the law. You must have an easy job then. You got that right. The only reason we exist is to clean up the nobility's messes. He's not happy about that. Yeah, he does not seem happy about that. Nice. Alright, let's talk about mages. Commander White, you seem to speak negatively about my client's magic. Do you have a personal grudge against mages? You're dang right I do. Wow, I didn't even try to deny it. Have you had any sense? You would too. All a mage has to do is wave their hands and say some magic nonsense, and then you suddenly have a dead body up there. Don't get me started on mage bite. If some noble uses their magic too much, they end up snapping and going on a rampage. I don't know if this is going too far, but why join the Inquisition if you hate mages so much? Considering the fact that my job is to sweep the nobility's crimes under the rug? Sorry, I didn't mean to insinuate. Nope, you have the right of it. Anytime a noble is involved in a case, I'm ordered to look the other way. You don't seem very happy to do that. Why would you stay in this line of work? Because every once in a while I'm allowed to put a criminal mage behind bars. We can't go after the nobles, but any other mage is fair game. Or at least they were before your boss showed up. Alright, so your boss, does he have something against Miss Tamora? Alright, so we have filled out the complete psychological profile. So now, well, I guess we'll talk about her. I have to ask, oh, okay. Miss Tamora. Okay, so we already had this conversation. Okay. We presented the evidence. And this is where he was being surprised that she was our mom. Okay. Now let's do that argument. Commander White seems unusually hostile towards you, and you have a feeling it's not just because you embarrassed him in court today. If you can clear up this misunderstanding, you might be able to convince him to help you. Okay, so we gotta try and argue with him. So let's see. Alright, I'm just going to come out and say it. Do you have a problem with me, Commander White? You should know exactly what my problem is with you. I saw who you work for. Do I have to spell it out for you? Ruby Tamora is a crooked lawyer. Or does your boss not tell you what she gets up to? Alright, elocutions and arguments. Arguments are not always fought using hard evidence. Sometimes you need to elocute to convince your opponent their claim is wrong. When prompted for an elocution, choose from one of the three possible responses. The correct response can be gleaned from reading the opponent's psychological profile. Alright. Commander White is stubborn and stuck in his ways. He seems to have a grudge against Ruby Tamora and will react negatively if you try to defend her. However, he will respect you if you defend yourself against personal attacks. So, if we try to defend her, so let's see, you have no right to throw baseless accusations against me or Miss Tamora. Regardless of what Miss Tamora has done, I'm the one heading this case. It doesn't matter how you feel about me or Miss Tamora. What matters is that my client deserves a fair trial with fair representation. Defend yourself. Let's see. He will respect you if you defend yourself. So, maybe deflect? Let's try deflect. Regardless of what Miss Tamora has done, I'm the one heading this case. Whatever problems you have with her, they have nothing to do with me. Okay. That still doesn't change the fact that you work for her. I've seen that woman do all kinds of shady stuff on the cases I've worked. Forgery, bribery, blackmail, you name it. You're just another crook. Okay, I'll bet you're just the same, a successor of the devil, for the devil of defense attorneys. Alright, so, I'm not Ruby Tamora. Regardless of what you've seen her do, I'm going to run an honest case. Alright, it doesn't matter if the rumors are true or not. Regardless of what you've seen her do, I'm going to run an honest case. Yep. Nice. Look, kid, I'd like nothing more than to believe you. But after everything I've seen her do, I know better. I have no reason to trust you. Anyone taught by that woman can't be anything more than a crook. You have no proof that she's a crook, and you sure don't have any proof that I'm one either. Nothing that I've done has given you any reason to suspect me. Have you seen me engage in any crook-like behavior? Um, let's see. I kind of wanted to deflect again. I mean, I could see both of deflect and rationalize working. Right now, I'm just a defense attorney that's asking you for information. Nothing that I've done has given you any reason to suspect me. All right. We have won the argument. Nice. You just want some info, right? Yes, that's all I'm asking for. All right. I'll answer your questions. Just don't make me regret this. Alright, so we successfully persuaded him. Nice. Alright, murder weapon. This probably goes without saying, but I don't believe that the sword is the murder weapon. Right? I guess you have to prove someone else put the sword there. Did the Inquisition find anything suspicious on the scene? If you're asking whether we found another bloody weapon lying around, we definitely didn't. That would be a little too convenient, wouldn't it? But let's say that the girl really is being framed. There was another murder weapon, the killer probably walked out with it. Do you think they could have hidden it somewhere in the tavern? Doubt it. After the trial, Stillwind turned the place upside down and scanned it with her magic. If someone did hide a murder weapon here, they hid it well. Or they hid it in plain sight. Alright, I can't believe you made such an obvious mistake during your investigation. Oh, shut it with that. I already got an earful from Stillwind about that mess. Well, you don't have to worry about me mucking things up. Stillwind's basically taken over the entire investigation. Wait, does she have the authority to do that? Normally she wouldn't, but I know better than to go against orders from a noble. Alright, there's definitely a strange power dynamic between them. But honestly, the girl sweats the details too much. She even had my men draw up a scaled map of the crime scene. Wait, really? Do you have a copy? Sure, knock yourself out. Don't know how much good it'll do you. Nice. Right. Now, Arya Stillwind. I heard that this was Prosecutor Stillwind's first trial. She must be pretty talented if that's true. A pain in my butt is what she is. That noble comes in here telling me how to do my job. Honestly, I have no idea what she's even doing this line of work. Okay, so this is the same conversation that we had before when we presented the profile to him. Okay. You think you found everything you can here, but what does that all mean? There's no murder weapon to be found, and there's no obvious evidence of another person at the scene. Hey, you okay? You got quiet all of a sudden. Alright, just focus. Close your eyes, let everything else disappear from the world. Hey, you listening? So, there's no clear evidence pointing to another killer. There is, however, evidence pointing to how Flintheart moved before his death. What? What can we tell about how Flintheart died? There's no blood trail leading to or from the body. What does this imply about the location of Flintheart's death? So, the killer, Flintheart, okay, it tells us that Flintheart didn't move during, what do we have, murder? During the murder, I think. Flintheart died where he was attacked. He didn't move from his position at all. Yeah, I guess you're right. There's also the autopsy report, which says that he died from a stab from behind. He was probably caught off guard and was too incapacitated to move anywhere else. This means that the attack happened at the exact position he fell over. Alright, so we've updated the crime scene map. And there's also the shattered bottle of lotus juice. How did the bottle shatter? I doubt it means anything, but the shattered bottle is right next to the body. So, was he carrying it? Flintheart dropped the bottle during the attack or after the attack? During the attack, right? Like, or I guess after the attack, right? No, he died at the exact location. Okay, so during the attack. Flintheart must have been holding it at some point. Flintheart dropped the bottle when he was attacked. From that, we can infer that he was holding it the moment before he was attacked. Okay, so we updated that. What's so strange about one bottle, though? It may seem like an insignificant detail, but that detail could help me infer other elements of what happened during the murder. Right. There's also the fact that the artificial lights were out. Were those candles here when you arrived at the crime scene, Orem? No, we had the lights on so we could see the crime scene properly. We thought it was weird, too. The girl and her father must have had their argument in pitch black darkness. What can we infer about the state of the crime scene? Okay, so they didn't light any candles to make up for the broken lights. So that means the crime scene had no lighting before the murder. No, these candles were lit by the Inquisition after they came. Wait. Okay. The candles were lit by the Inquisition after. And the dining room lights have had no energy for the last week. So how is that wrong? So it seems strange, but this can only mean one thing about the room's lighting. It had no lighting during the murder? Okay, well, I mean, I think we're saying the same thing, but with slightly different words. The crime scene had no lighting during the murder. Alright, so we updated the broken power cell. The argument that Celeste had with Flintheart must have been spontaneous. They weren't planning to have a conversation in this room. In this darkness, Flintheart wouldn't have had a lot of visibility. If he was stabbed from behind, he probably didn't see it coming. He was clearly surprised and was probably in too much shock to run away. Also, the bottle may seem insignificant, but he was holding it when he was attacked. Maybe he was pouring a drink for himself. Maybe it was for a visitor. Either way, the assailant must have been unseen by Flintheart. Kid? Or the assailant attacked him from his blind spot while his back was turned. Why would his back be turned, though? Was he distracted by something? Kid! What? What was that all about? Sorry, sometimes I just get lost in my own thoughts. Yeah, well, cut it out. You're freaking me out. Alright. Anyways, you think you found everything you can here. You should move somewhere else. Okay, so I think we're actually going to stop this episode here, and we'll pick up next time with interviewing Celeste in her cell, and I'm not sure where we'll go after that. Maybe back to trial and present this information that we have. We now actually have the suspect that we know, as an outside observer. We have that suspect who actually committed the murder. But I think this is a really interesting game so far. It's I like the story element so far. I'm sure it'll get harder as we go along. But I hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you will join me next week as we continue this case of what was it? It was like the something of the aristocrat. I forget. I'm gonna have to look up the case name again. But I hope that you enjoyed the story. If you like this kind of content, please like and follow and all that good stuff. And you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Liar27. And until next time, guys, bye.